All righty, folks. We have interest rates at a 20-year high. We have new listing activity at lifetime lows. We have affordability not seen since 1984, which for the record was not good.
Yep.
So why the heck does myself, Mike Zuber, believe this is a great real estate market for some people? I happen to believe the market for the next 12 to 18 and quite possibly 24 months is going to be great for guys like Jason and myself, and maybe you, if you're willing to do the work. Jason, what do you think? Do you think this is a great market coming up, or you're scratching your head saying, what the hell is he smoking?
No, man, I'm actually, and I'm sure we have both kind of our ideas on why, but I was literally just getting done talking with my team this week about this stuff and just letting them know that we are positioning ourselves to gobble up a lot of market share in our backyard right now. For a lot of the reasons I'm sure we're going to get into this right now. So I'm very, very excited for what's coming. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about it today, man.
So number one reason is you and I, for the last 3 or 4 years, have been operating in a business where you could be a pretender.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now calling these people financial engineers. And they won for longer than I thought they would.
Yep.
But they're not winning now.
That's right.
And a lot of them are going to take some L's. A lot of them are going to take massive L's. And a lot of them, Jason, won't be back, because once you light LP money on fire, not coming back. So we are going to see competition from the pretenders and maybe even some of the lightweight operators disappear because very few people have the mindset, track record to just keep going. So the competition, dude, is going to almost disappear overnight.
I agree. I call them the fly-by-night investors. That's how I refer to them when I talk with others about it. And it's been interesting. And you said it, the last 3-something years, there's a lot of people that in my space, it's the direct to seller, off market, single family, fix, flip, wholesale, that type of stuff. It was very, very easy to jump in this business if you had a little bit of a hustle and you could go on and you weren't afraid to get out, put yourself out there and talk to people to tie up properties, right? And let the market kind of carry you through, because it didn't really matter like whether or not you knew how to run numbers, knew how to negotiate, knew how to do all the things that are required to have longevity in this business, because the market essentially was bailing everybody out. And I've already seen it in the last 12 months, just from the amount of deal flow that comes my way. I was getting bombarded with deals on email, Facebook, text message, like, hey, I've got this. And I'm just not now. And it's all those people that, came in and would do 1 to 5 deals a year, 5 to 10 deals a year. All of that has now kind of gone away. And so you said it, once you've been burned like that, it's going to be very hard to come up and take another at bat, right? Like after you've, spent a bunch of money on marketing and all that money got burned up in smoke and all the profits that you made from those initial deals, those people probably are not going to be getting back in the game.
Yeah, the fly-by-nights, the financial engineers, just the momentum, folks, they're gone. And, it's hard to put ratios on this, but, if there were 10 of them a year ago, there's probably 6 today, and it might go as low as 3.
Yeah. I think we're down to that 3, 4, 5 mark right now, because
and it's going lower.
Yeah. I just, they just were not built for longevity. They were not doing the things that I think a lot of times.
Dude, they didn't change their spend.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention. So that's one. The pretenders are gone. Number 2, you know this, I know this. The audience is hopefully knows this because I've said it 100 times. You make your best deals when you're negotiating with a motivated seller.
Mm-hmm.
If you are trying to sell a property either on the MLS where I shop or direct to a buyer in a market with 8% mortgage rates, you probably have a sense of motivation.
That's right.
For the last 3 years, you could just put a sign in the ground and get 20 offers, waive conditions, waive this, waive that. Buyer demand is disappearing. Affordability not seen since 1984. You also have the news media talking this and that craziness. So I don't know about you, Jason, but I love competing when there's no competition. And that's what it kind of feels like today.
It is. And it speaks directly to the first point that we made, right? If all of the fly-by-night people have gone down to this, there's just inherently going to be less people contacting the sellers that myself and my team are calling. So, I'm in the trenches with my team, listening to their calls, reviewing their conversations, like actually listening to what the sellers are saying. And a year ago, they would all, a pushback would be like, you're the 10th person that's called me about this property, right? Like literally, right? Like, how do you guys get my number? Now it's not, how did you guys get my number? But yeah, I've been sitting on this property for 9 months and I haven't been able to do anything with it. It's been vacant. I haven't been able to get the price that I want. I'm now, ready to sit down and actually talk about, what an actual sale looks like. So the buyer demand is way down. I think you made a great point about the narrative that's being pushed in the media. It's been a year and a half that this negative narrative is being pushed out there. And you guys have to remember, I don't know where the quote came from. I think it got attested to Warren Buffett, but when there's blood in the streets, right? That's when we buy. The blood is now in the streets, guys. So now is not the time to hesitate and be scared. So we have to be contrarian thinkers right now. We have to do the opposite of what the masses are doing. So if the masses are scared and they're frozen, we need to be on the other end of the spectrum. So now is the time to be excited.
And then there's one final reason, which when you understand this, it's probably the best reason of all. For the last 3 years, we've really only had to compete on price or speed, right? Cash. The next 2 years, you can also bring terms. I don't know about you, Jason, but I bought plenty of deals where I gave the seller his or her price or near their price, but they gave me my terms. And some of those deals are the sweetest of sweet deals because I don't give a rat's ass if I overpay. If I get an interest rate that's below market, it's all about cash flow for me. So terms, it's not only price, it's terms. And I think terms will be more and more valuable for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. And all these points build on each other, right? So less buyer demand means less competition. Less competition means us as buyers have more leverage in our negotiations, right? So we don't have to just be the best price, close quickly, like race to the bottom as far as all these things. We can then now negotiate a deal where it really is more of a win-win, or maybe get even a better deal for us, right? It isn't us meeting the seller at their terms, right? It's us understanding and learning how to negotiate and getting the seller to meet us where the deal makes the most sense for us. And so I love it. Yeah,
I'll just
instilling those terms is good.
I don't know if you've heard this story from me. If you have, I'm sorry. But there was a property I bought on Cortland. God, it may have been a decade ago, certainly 8 years ago, where I was trying to get the seller down to let's call it 100 grand. They were stuck at $1.25, and they wouldn't move. And it was worth 100, right? I wasn't trying to steal it. It was, worth 100. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I asked him if he would carry, and he said yes. So then I put a deal together where I paid 125, and I think I got it for a 1% mortgage. And my payment is lower than if I would have went to a bank and paid 100. I've been owning that property for 30 years. It's a 30-year note at 1% or whatever it was. I'm sure he brags to his friends that he got this, Bay Area kid to pay 125 for 100. He just fails to tell them that he got a 1% mortgage instead of an 8% mortgage. And that's okay with me.
Yeah. And I think, guys, you can't be afraid to pitch terms, especially with some of these, I'll call them old timer sellers. Like, you're speaking their language when you do that, right? Because all of these investors, a lot of times when they were buying their properties in the 70s, 80s, whenever it was, right? They were using, they were using this. And I think so many people have gone away from that, right? That when you bring that up, you can see the light bulb go off in their head. You can feel it, right? And the rapport level just immediately shoots up because you're speaking their language. And so, again, I mean, the last 3 years, for us, we haven't done a ton of creative things because it's just been cash. So it's trying to get the best
you have a
price.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you really do have a chance. So yeah, it's I think it's a market for us to be excited about. I think there's going to be a lot of cool things that are going to be available.
So again, I'm excited for Jason and I because we do the work, we're consistent, all of that. What about you, right? You, the person watching this. I think there's nothing secret about Jason or I.
Nope.
We take our shots, we do the work, we get up, we do it again tomorrow, we get up and do it again the day after. We're not beholden to the market. Cost of capital means nothing. I mean, Jason, let's just say you woke up tomorrow and cost of capital is 15% for everyone.
Yep.
Would you change anything you're doing?
No, I mean, I would still get up, and my structure, my routine, my business every single day would be the same thing. We may adjust numbers and
Yeah, of
offers
course.
and things like that because, we have to make sure that it still makes sense for us. But as far as the day to day and the mission, no.
Doesn't
And
change.
I've
Yep.
trained myself and I've trained my team to realize, like we said earlier, now's the time to be excited, guys. When everybody's living in fear, now's the time for us to really start gobbling up some market share. And I think if it's just you yourself, you got to be conditioning yourself to think those things and not let some of this negative news get into your head too much.
I love it. Jason, where can people find you?
Easiest place to find me is on social media, guys. You can go to my Instagram page or my Facebook page. Just type in Jason Pritchard. If you want to use and access all the documents and the tools that my team use every single day in our business, you can go to our website, jasonpritchard.com. Click on all that stuff that's available to download for free. And feel free to reach out, ask questions. I love engaging with the One Rental at a Time community.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks.